azure shall keep its bright blue. O Mary, we crown thee with blossoms today, Queen of the angels and Queen of the May. O Mary, we crown thee with blossoms today, Queen of the angels and Queen of the May.
Well, I suppose the Lord can't satisfy us in everything.
No, I should know. You'd have an awful job, wouldn't you?
He has really. Oh my God!
No, it's all right, it's all right. Not to worry,
I
not to
didn't
worry.
realise that you were taking pictures.
Not to worry, not to worry.
That's actually perfect because they're on the, that should be a perfect one that has to. Grand, it was marvellous. It was marvellous to see you all in good form.
And she had a lovely
So
flower.
you joined the convent when you were
18 or 19 years of
18
age.
and 19 years of age. Yeah.
And we're still there at 90.
At 90, well that's
Tim is
good count.
94. I'm 79. I know what she is.
And you have devoted all your life to teaching. Okay, she joined when she was.
All of us presentation sisters, the majority of us joined the order when we were 18 or 19 years of age. And our chief work was education. Now latterly there's a lot of social work and different missions, and quite a number of our sisters are now going, that our youngest sister is now gone to South America. We have another young sister who's gone to the Philippines, and a third sister who's gone to Pakistan. And they're working there now with the blacks, doing what Nan O'Neill did in Cork in the 1800s. And they're very badly off there. The poverty is even more, what shall I say, the poverty is very great and very deep. The men do no work at all. The women, anything that's to be done is done by the women. And they spend their day in the Philippines down at the river washing clothes with their hands in a bucket. In this technological age, it's very hard to realise it. But that's how it goes.
Sisters, I suppose, as such, are going into, we'll say, the third world, the underdeveloped parts of the world at this present day.
That's what they are.
Because they want to do for the third world what Nan O'Neill did for Cork and Ireland in the 1845, 6s and
But
that.
they're
during the
getting
time.
loads of sisters in the other countries,
The
in
third
South
world
America and in Pakistan, and
Yeah.
they'll probably be coming over here later on.
That people are saying that the tables are going to turn, that in other words that the priests and sisters that we're going to have in 25 years' time.
I was talking to a Holy Ghost father there last week, and he told me they're getting plenty of young fellows for the church in Africa. He's in Kenya. He's in Kenya.
That's right, yeah. The
That's
Kerry
right.
Diocese is very much involved in Kenya because
That's
we
right,
had Father John Hayes and Father Brick, and there
Yeah.
were several other priests
Yeah.
from the Diocese
That's
of
right.
Kerry.
He says that, like all the orders, not alone his order now, he said that all the orders that are out in Africa, there are a lot in Nigeria, and they're getting a whole lot of them. But he said, of course, they have to be very careful of who they choose, and they have to give them a great preparation, like.
That's right. Well, very much so today, more than in days past.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Sister.
Sister Thomas, you have been associated with the convent in Listowel for quite a long time too, have you?
Since
How many years?
Yeah.
When you went to
1975.
You were here, you're in Listowel since 1975.
Yeah. But she was in way
Oak
back
Park.
in
Oh,
Oak.
I know she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
You
the
were in Oak Park
1930s.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's lovely, yeah.
And were you in
When
Tralee?
the novitiate was closed, like, you know.
Oh yes, you came out.
That's right.
And would most of you have been professed in the novitiate in Tralee, or Would there have been sisters professed here in Listowel?
There were.
There were like
There
a
were,
few,
so-
just a few.
Up to 36, I think. Up to
it?
1936, the sisters who entered here were professed here.
Were professed here?
Sister Mother Berkmans, whom you all know,
That's
she died
right,
at 105. Now she was professed here. Sister Dimna Noonan, that you know. Sister,
right.
you know. Sister Francis, Sister Aloysius.
Sister Carmel. was
Sister
recent.
Carmen, no.
No.
She was in Oak Park.
All these are Oak Park, yes. And there was a Steck girl from town professed here also.
There was.
And you had the
She said
Kennellys
Steck.
and Knockanur professed here, 2 sisters,
Yeah.
and they died, one of them died in
Kennellys.
2 years during the famine. They died from the tuberculosis and the want.
So that you were all professed so at about
Yeah.
In
you
the,
joined
in the early years, sisters came to the convents, the local convents, and they were professed there, and they stayed there during their novitiate. But after the 1930s, that changed. We had a general novitiate in Oak Park, Tralee, and we had a Mother General. And all of us, we entered.
We entered the convent. Did you enter the convent? No.
No. We entered at 18 or 19 years of age, just after getting our leaving certificate. And we went straight to Oak Park. And we spent 3 years there learning how to become a nun and how to pray. At the end of that, we were professed, and then we were sent on mission. And 3 of us, Sister Clare, Sister Austin and Sister DePassy, we were sent to Listowel, and we were charmed that the 3 of us were sent together. Normally, my other companions, one was sent to Mill Street, another was sent to Rathmore, another was sent to Tralee, another was sent to Milltown. And some of those in time went on the mission to New Zealand, Sister Bonaventure, who is now dead. The rest of us are still alive. We entered in 1936, and we were about 18 at that time. And we're still around. Our chief work, of course, was education then, because that's what Nan O'Neill started in Cork just before the famine years. Because the people there, they weren't educated, there was no work, and there was great poverty. So she started in a little garret in Cork, and she had to do it quietly because the British were our rulers then, and she could be arrested for having the schools. But finally, anyhow, she got going and she founded the Presentation Order. And what's happening now in the 1990s, there's a new Presentation Order going to sprout out in the Third World. And we had 3 young sisters here in Listowel whom we really needed very badly. And one of them now is gone to the Philippines. The other is gone to
South America.
to Ecuador, and the other is gone to Pakistan. And they're starting there now what Nan O'Neill started in 1846 down in Cork. And they're hoping to have a new branch of the order out there in these countries. And of course, there's no doubt that that will happen, because Bishop Shanahan and the Holy Ghost Fathers who went to Africa 60, 70 years ago, a lot of them are dead now. Now we can see the fruits of their labour. The young African church is beginning to sprout now. There are more students entering the seminaries in Africa and in these foreign countries now than there did ever before. And it is a result of the seeds that were sown by these first missionaries. So our new missionaries are just going out now, while they're badly needed at home, but they're prepared to send them to make the sacrifice.
Now, what do you think the future is here at home?
The future here at home, we're beginning, there are beautiful schools, fully equipped and thriving in every sense of the word. And they have a great group of lay teachers who will be able to carry on the work, while the sisters who will enter now mostly will go on the missions. We had a nun here, Mother Berkmans. She was 105 when she died. Now, she did great work for the poor, especially the school children. She built a special lunch house, which we can see from here, and about 200 children got lunch there every day. She lived until she was 105, and she was a great saint. We all looked up to her. Now, we have a lot of older sisters here now. We have none of 95, a lot in the 80s, 70s, 60s. Our youngest, I suppose, is in the 40s. But we're still thriving and still full of hope, and we're still on mission. The mission of the older sister now is to the local poor and those deprived, the lonely, the unmarried mothers who need an awful lot of help, and the old and the sick in hospitals. We do a lot of home visitation. That's mostly our work. Listening to people and trying to bring God into their lives to give them some little bit of hope for the future.
Thanks very much.
30. We entered in the convent, and we stayed in the convent for 6 months, what they call postulancy. And then we went to Oak Park, and we got our training in Oak Park for 2 years then, or 2.5 years, whatever it would be. And there were 6 professed with me. There were 11 professed before me. We were all living in the same house, and there were 13 in the group after me at that time. And then after that, the groups began to diminish, the numbers began to diminish. So...
Yeah, well, the more sophisticated we became, and the less vocations we were gone away from the old days where every parish provided X number of sisters.
That's right.
X number of apostles.
And they all say now that we have a great time, and that the nuns have a great time, and still none of them are entering with us.
Well,
no, but they're not a bit interested.
Yeah, well, is there a school of thought today that even in the likes of the contemplative orders, which are very, very scarce, that there is that there is an interest in the contemplative orders again, in compared to the old days.
Well, there is, of course, an interest in prayer. They want to, pray for the world.
Yeah, and to seek God in maybe different ways.
Different ways, yeah.
Different ways, yeah.
Well, there's a feeling, of course, that the world has lost its soul. That's the feeling at the moment, has lost its soul. And there's a lot of unrest. And there's an awful lot of need and personal loneliness, and people are trying to come to grips with this, and some are waking up and realizing that is because they have no anchor. They've lost their God. They have just 3 gods: pleasure and money. So there is a tendency now that if a girl wants to enter a convent, she will go to an enclosed order where she'll give herself totally to prayer. They feel that the nuns at the moment are having a great time, they can do everything the same as everybody else, and they feel there is no sacrifice in being a nun now in Ireland, whereas the sacrifice actually is even greater than it was, because on account of technology, everything has so changed that everybody has to be updated and they have to be re-educated. Therefore, the nuns can't give all their time to prayer and their devotions they used to, because they have to go to courses to update in all the different technologies, computer science, all those things. So life can be a bigger strain because you have to do 2 things. You're within and without. At the start we were cloistered. We were cloistered religious. Now we are on the street. Had a very difficult existence. Their living quarters were very, very small, and their food was very frugal, and they worked very, very hard. Now there's one novice. She didn't even live to be professed. She was only 1.5 years in the convent when she died during those famine times. And there's another sister there, Sister Angela Love is her name. She died in 2 years. She was a bread maker. When the 500 children were fed daily, she made all the bread. There was no such thing as machines at that time. She all needed it, just like our mothers did 60 years ago. And she got a terrible swelling under her arm and was hardly able to stand. But she didn't tell her the superior that she needed a doctor, because if she did, she said the children would go hungry. So she died after 2 years making the bread for the poor. And when she was dying, she said, happy, happy, happy. All the sisters ever since look on her as one of our saints. Angela Love.
That's beautiful. Because it might be worth listening to it.
Oh, thank you.
Now, you were originally from North Kerry yourself, aren't you?
I was
From
born in Ballybunion, love.
Yeah.
About 3 miles beyond the village, more towards Beale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Out Father Pat Moore's country, out in that direction there.
Well, that's Asti.
Is that Asti? Yeah.
It is. The name of my townland was Kilconley. There's a little graveyard there.
There's a little graveyard, very much associated with the famine too, I believe. Isn't that right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's a beauty now. I'd love you to see it.
Is that so?
They got members of the force in to do it, and it is exquisite.
Is that
I saw it there about a month ago.
Oh, that's
Went out to see it actually.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you very much, John.
And did you join when you were quite a young girl? You
I
joined
was
after
only 18, love.
18. Yeah.
Yeah, and I fell very ill as a novice, and my parents came to take me home. But I said, give me another fortnight's chance. And at the time, you see, things were very strict in the old days in the novitiate. But my poor father, God rest him, took a £5 note from his wallet, and he said to the novice mistress, get her everything possible, because we'll be coming back in a fortnight, and if she's not improved, we're taking her home. So I got all kinds of attention.
You improved. That's fine.
I improved immensely.
And thanks be to God, you've survived, and you've been such a...
Well,
mind
thank
yourself there,
God.
Lord John. Yeah, that's
I
good,
know.
man. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I'd love. Well, yes, thanks be to God.
Thanks be to
And
God,
I
yeah.
got a long life, because it was found afterwards when I was x-rayed that I had got a primary TB.
Yeah,
And I put the TB over me in the novitiate.
you did.
I did. But I suppose like that, there wasn't anything in the family like.
Yeah.
And it seems that about 60% of we Irish get a primary TB.
Yeah.
And we're able,
To sort of survive it.
Exactly, to survive it.
Yeah, and when as a young girl, when you were a novice, TB was an awful scourge all over
it was
North
terrible.
Kerry at that stage,
It
wasn't
was
it?
very, very, very
It was,
rampant
yeah,
at the
because
time.
even I'm sure, well, I don't know how many of the sisters here would have been lost due to TB, but sure, there were very many poor people out the country due to bad housing conditions and young families,
That's
and they were taken to a very early grave by it was a desperate scourge up to the 40s, up to the 50s
Oh,
actually.
it definitely was.
Up to the coming of the sulphur drugs
Right.
actually and the penicillins of the 50s.
Right,
TB
right,
was a
Timmy.
scourge.
God bless John.
Thank you very much indeed, sister.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
I'm on this now.
Oh, you are, you
Lovely
are,
to
yeah.
meet you.
And
Well,
it's
it's fine.
speaking as well, is
It
it?
will be,
Oh,
yes,
dear,
of course, yeah. And
Talk
it
as well.
will be around for posterity. Leaving us here, sister, as principal of Our Lady of Fatima School, secondary school here in Listowel. How many years have you been principal for, actually?
I've principal for 10 years.
For 10 years, yeah.
I've been teaching in it since 1977 in
yeah.
the secondary school, but I also taught in it when I was in the primary school, because I came down to do the music here, so I'm coming down here since 1960.
Oh yeah, so you're very familiar, yeah. And you originally came from South Kerry yourself, and did you enter in the novitiate in Tralee?
I did, yeah. I
Did
went to
you?
school in Carstevine right up to Leaving Cert.
Oh
I
yeah.
went on to Carysford Training College, came back and entered with the presentation.
Yeah, and you became a very popular, well-known figure around Listowel, because again, most of the buildings that are around us here indeed are due to the initiative and the hard work that you put in, and even with board of management, you were the person that quite steered the most of the building.
Well, I suppose I didn't steer the building. That was the extension actually went up 10 or 11 years ago, was finished. I suppose the people who spearheaded the building The original building would have been Sister De Pazzi, and then looking ahead to the extension would have been Sister Etna and Sister Anthony,
Yeah.
brought to a finish by Sister Eileen and Sister Sheila Kelleher.
Yeah.
I walked into it with it finished
Yeah.
10 years ago, but then a lot of the new things, like the new prefabs, and I suppose the upkeep of it, all right.
Yeah, well, the new prefabs, and again, you've added a technology room, and you've added
Yeah.
typewriting, and you've added
Yeah.
a computer
Those
section
kind
here.
of
Yeah.
things, but all those sections, yes.
Well, all those sections have come in your time, like, and
Sister Sheila Keller started the computer room, but it was a smaller room at the time. It was where the present remedial room is. But then we realised it was too small, so we spearheaded it to use another classroom and make a bigger room.
yeah. Well, I'm sure you must be very proud of the fact that visitors and everybody who passes by you compliment the condition of the school. That it's so beautifully kept, and it's scrupulously clean, and it's visitors who were around from Limerick yesterday complimented the place, that they thought it was a fabulous environment for children to learn in at this stage in time.
I have great support in that. Fine, I suppose you have to have somebody to lead it, but I've been very lucky in the staff I have. I've been very lucky in the people who maintain the place, yourself included, Timmy and Cyril, and I have great women who do the cleaning, Mary and Bridie and Betty, and like they're as proud of the school as if it was their own.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big help.
Yeah, and are there many teachers involved in the school in total?
There are
Lay teachers.
38.
38 lay teachers, yeah.
And I suppose there'll be 40 next year.
Yeah, and the numbers seem to be getting bigger every...
Yes, they're bigger. They'll be bigger again this September, but I'd imagine that's the peak, because the primary schools are naturally going down now,
Yeah.
so it has to hit us in another year or two, but we're at our highest. And I'd say the highest will be next year.
Yes,
There were
that's right.
623 this year, but I'd say there'll be about 640 in September.
So that in this, the 150th anniversary of the famine, which is this year, according to the figures of 1846, the numbers of children coming to the newly built national school here by the Presentation Sisters in the store was about 600, 650. So the same number of children will be coming to the secondary here
They're
today.
coming to the secondary now, yeah. And that's part of our problem. I suppose the extension at the time, we were building for 400 children. So
Yeah.
that's where the trouble is. We could do it a lot more space if we had it.
And you still see yourself carrying on the work of Nan O'Neill, because Nan O'Neill, I suppose, came from a background that wasn't conducive to going around shaking hands with the poor or putting clothes on their backs or a bite of food in their mouth. But again, she decided that those are the people she was going to work with, and she dedicated her whole
That's
life.
what she gave it to us, and I suppose that's the whole ethos of our presentation schools, is to continue the work and tradition of Nan O'Neill. And that is part of the ethos that's passed on to our lay teachers, and indeed they're more Nan O'Neill now than we are ourselves.
And I suppose it's sad to see that there is a great decline in vocations. You know that there are very little postulants coming on the way today. On the, we'll say, the world that we know, the world of the West, the world of the Americas and the Europes. But in the third world, we seem to have the convents are being filled up with postulances, and
they aren't being filled up with them. We don't have any, there aren't any at the moment. It looks as if there's going to be a new phase of religious life, whatever form it's going to take. But at the moment, we haven't any postulant or novice.
Well, not
they would
here,
have
but
them in third world countries.
in third world countries, though, that they're
yes.
growing in the third world countries,
Yes,
yeah.
they are. But I suppose maybe, I don't know what the reason is for it, but we don't have them,
But again, like we'll say, the sisters who did go from the presentation and the other orders who went out to literally alone to third world countries to start up little projects, their work will bear fruit, and they will continue on the work of the presentation sisters.
They're doing the work, and even say our two young sisters who went out from here in the last 2 and 3 years, Sister Breed and Sister Anne, they're out in third world countries, and I suppose starting the work that was begun here in the time of the famine, they're doing it out there now, like. So,
well, again, Sister, thank you very much. We have caught you unawares, and as I say, we hope that you have a very happy holiday, and that you have a peaceful and quiet retirement for a little bit. We believe you are coming back teaching music again, because music, of course, is a primary ideal in your life. You're
It's something I'd like to do, but that all depends on higher authority and provincials and things like that, you know. But for the moment, I won't be here for the coming year. That's the way it is.
Well, I'm sure at this stage it has to be said that an awful lot of parents and an awful lot of pupils owe you a debt of gratitude for all the hard work and all the genuine and sincere way that you've carried out your work over the past 10 years as principal, and for all the other years that you carried out your work. I personally know that you work very, very hard and you put in very long hours. So I think, an awful lot of parents and an awful lot of pupils owe you a great debt of gratitude.
Thank you, Jimmy, but I owe them a lot too, and I was always grateful for the support of the parents, the support of the pupils, and I must say, I suppose I'm more Listowel now than any other part of me.
Well, we claim you as Listowel.
Hopefully. They won't see the last of me, I hope.
Well, please God, you'll be still playing the organ around and we'll still see you because, again, as I say, you have contributed immensely to the life of Listowel Parish especially, and to the greater part of North Kerry school-wise. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Jan.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Did you become a Mercy sister? Did you join up when you left school?
Not exactly after school.
Not after
some
leaving
few years
school,
after, yeah.
And did you come? I remember your mother was in you nursed your own mother up in the hospital in St. Joseph's in Listowel. Yeah. Was she with you there in Listowel for a little bit? Yeah.
8.5 years.
For 8.5 years.
Yes,
yeah. And what part of the county did you come from?
Ratmore.
Ratmore,
right
yeah.
on the Cork-Kerry border.
Yeah, a very famous place for vocations, wasn't it?
It is
yeah?
great, actually.
Great, yeah.
And how that came about when the Cistercians were in Ratmore, way back, I suppose, in the last century maybe. The Presbyterian Ratmore put them up, and they walked into Killarney, into the friary, and got work there. And I said that brought a real blessing on Ratmore Parish, which it did.
Which it did, yeah, because again it was famous for vocations, both to the priesthood and to the apostolancy, to religious life. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you spent a term in St. Catherine's Hospital, the old St. Catherine's Hospital in Tralee as well?
I worked in the old St. Catherine's.
Did you?
I did. And then I spent some years in the old St. Joseph's.
That's the old St. Joseph's here in Listowel?
Yes. Yeah. And then I was in the welfare for a few years before I went to the district.
Oh, did you also work in the welfare home?
I was there for the opening.
Oh, were you?
I was. And I spent 2 years there, and then I went down to the district in 74.
Yeah. What memories would you have of St. Joseph's now as such when you came to Listowel to St. Joseph's?
The old St. Very homely. Beautiful, really beautiful.
Yeah.
The first thing that would meet you when you would come inside the door was the record player playing upstairs. For both upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, they were well looked after.
And it was mostly geriatric patients at that stage in time, was it?
It was mainly.
Was it? Yeah.
It was.
And
I think it was 24 that was there.
Is that so? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
And would some of them they have come from the North Kerry hinterland, or would some of them have come from some of the other psychiatric hospitals in
some did actually.
Some did come.
Did.
Yeah.
They did. Yes.
Yeah, I suppose you would have heard very little stories about the old fever hospital as such that it was, and would you have heard stories of the...
I would. And one thing that remains in my mind, the bodies were brought across here to Thomplebourne.
They were, yeah.
And a woman from, I think it was either Lixnar or
Abidorney, yeah, we
she
believe,
didn't want her...
the remains of the body of her husband buried here in Thomplebourne.
She put the remains over her shoulder, covered it, and walked railway tracks to Lixnar.
To Lixnar, yeah.
Wasn't that something?
Yeah, well, that was showing the dedication they had for you know, and despite their poverty and wretchedness, they had a desperate love for each other and for their own old and their own dead as well, of course. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be one of the stories, of course, that there is a little book published by the Mercy Sisters. That's your own annals, which covers a small brief history of the coming of the Sisters to the Fever Hospital in Listowel. Yeah,
that's right.
Would the parish priest of Listowel would have had something to do with that, I believe, at some stage? Yeah, he would, because I think he.
It was Father Sayers anyway that erected the Calvary there in the hospital grounds.
The Calvary
Yes.
was erected by Father Sayre, so
Yes.
that would be because there was that was the huge Calvary that we were talking about now with the stones from
Right.
part of the old workhouse was in that particular Calvary.
Yes.
And he would have erected that, of course, because Father Sayres would have been around at the time that they destroyed what remained of the old workhouse.
That's right.
And he was the cause of erecting the Calvary.
Yes. That's still beautiful there, isn't it?
Well, today's Calvary
mount
is
is
very,
gone,
very
like,
small, yeah,
it
compared
is.
to the one that was there at Father Stone's with the huge mound of stones,
That's
which
right.
came directly from, that was the last remaining remnants of the
was.
workhouse, I'd say.
Yes.
Some of the TB patients of North Kerry, it was more fever patients than TB patients.
I believe so. It
Yeah,
was. It was,
fever,
yeah.
and again, another disease that you would have known about was you would have heard about scarlatina, which was a fever very much prevalent in young people at when you were growing up and when I was
That's
growing up as
right.
well. Yeah,
Actually, there was a girl from Dartmoor that got cured in the fever hospital.
in the fever hospital
Yes,
here in Listowel.
that's
yeah.
right.
Is that so?
Yes.
Yeah,
Young girl.
yeah, that's certainly nice to hear. There,
Yes.
that, yeah. Well, again, I suppose with the kind of medicine, as we might say, was in its infancy then, because you would have remembered the coming of the sulphur drugs. Would you have remembered sulphur drugs coming? Not that we'll say into medicine, they would have come at the late 40s.
Yes.
In other words, whereby that pneumonia and pleurisy and those
That's right.
were killer diseases up to that, like.
That's right.
Except with, I know there was massive poulticing and all that, which was the general methods of relief for people at that
Yes.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, the coming of penicillin in the late 50s and you know, the newer penicillin and strep throat drugs
That's
improved
right.
the quality of life immensely.
It did. I was never in the nursing line now.
Yeah, I know
but-
you weren't
yeah,
in the nursing line, but again, it would have.
I was hooked there, but loved it. And I always say the patients look forward more to their meals than to their medication.
Well, again, the thing about hospital or being, you know, in a retirement
Yeah.
home is that the fact of a good, nicely presented meal meant everything
No,
to
it
them,
did,
and
it
it
did.
was also nutritious as well.
Exactly. I remember in the welfare home, I was only in the kitchen 2 days a week, and I'd be in the wards the other days.
Yeah,
I used to be longing for the 2 days in the kitchen.
you would, yeah.
I used.
Simply because
I
you
used-
were a fabulous
I
cook
used-
and you loved
I
cooking,
u- I did really.
and it came second nature to be able to
Yeah.
put up a meal to people.
And
yeah.
I remember when I go home now, I pass through Jack Buckley's house out there in Lyre.
Yeah,
And his mother,
was
she had lost her sight, but every night of the week he came in from Rahi to see his mother.
he came in from Rahi to see
He
his
did.
mother. Yeah,
But when I'm going home now, I pass his house. I always pray for him.
yeah.
He was a lovely man.
Yeah,
God
well, I
bless.
suppose that's the other thing that you might have found was
Yes.
the great dedication that children had to parents in those
Oh,
days
yeah.
compared to the way things are today. Yeah,
Exactly.
like we're losing a sense of dignity for the younger people, and you know, and there is an awful lot of good young people, but we tend to see, whether it is to the pressures of living, we lose a sense of dignity for our fathers and mothers and
Yes.
you know, our forebearers as such.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe I'm going off the track now a bit.
You aren't.
There's an elderly woman back the road now from here, Mrs. Flaherty.
That's right, yeah.
Every one of the children around Greenville, they're back to see Mrs. Flaherty.
They are,
Oh my goodness. Every one of them, they're very fond of her.
well, Nellie
Yeah,
is a very unique person,
oh,
yeah.
she's
With-
beautiful.
She's Nellie
beautiful.
would have great memories, and another nice man that's back the road from Nellie, of course, is Mick Enright, yeah.
That's
Mick,
right.
Mick would have, Nellie would have worked in Latchford's Mill, because again she would have been,
That's right.
she worked in Latchford's Mill, and Mick would have sad memories, I suppose, as you did talk about the fever hospital.
Mm-hmm.
There was definitely one of Mick's sisters, I'd say, buried as a little girl with
That's
TB
right.
from the
That's
fever
right.
hospital,
That's
I'd say.
right. That's right.
And I know there was a lovely little story about Mick there, because again that little girl was a child of Mary, and her medal was buried with her. And when the grave diggers were digging the grave for his lovely wife, the Lord have mercy on her, some of them came up to the little medal that was buried with the Child of Mary medal that was buried with 50 years, and Mick has got that medal today.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
So that, and did you like it in Listowel? You did, yeah.
Oh, I love
You-
Listowel, I do. I do.
Yeah, and again, I know that he lived in what's now known as St. Sinan House, but again, that would be St. Bridget's Convent for a portion of time. We
That's
would have
right.
known it as St. Bridget's Convent.
That's right.
That was part of the old workhouse building because, of course, it was connected with. There was a kind of a gallery going across from
That's
that
right.
over to the old workhouse.
Yes, I don't remember.
You don't remember
I
that,
don't.
but I believe
Yes.
the question, the time of the RIC and the time of the Troubles, of course, when it was burned, that was a great tragedy. While the nuns, even to this day, had great respect for some of the men who saved the St. Bridget's Chapel when
That's
when the
right.
workhouse was on fire.
That's right.
I don't know the names of the people off the top of my head, but
Yes.
apparently they were held. That family, our families, were held in great esteem by the sisters
So I
for
believe.
saving the chapel when
Yes.
the workhouse was on fire.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
But it was a very sad day to see he moved from Sinan House because it was secluded and it was I suppose it was quite a nice place and you were there for so long anyhow.
We spent some time in the presentation sisters, and that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, the Presentation Sisters, I suppose, are around. They would have been established, 60s. The Presentation Sisters were established since 1844.
That's right.
Whereas I think the Mercy would have come at around in the early part of between 1900 and 1910, I think, yeah.
Yes.
But he live now in Greenville, in St. Bridget's Convent in
We're back
Greenville.
in Greenville now, and it's completely different. We meet the children going to school. We meet the people going to work.
You do, yeah.
The milkman, the postman.
You do.
You know, whereas before we just crossed
You were
the
sort of
yard.
secluded, yeah.
We
You
were.
just crossed the yard
We
to
were.
where you were.
We were.
And how would there have been many sisters, we'll say, of Mercy at work in the hospital, we'll say, going back maybe 25 years ago?
Well, now, would you believe it? When vocations were plentiful, there was always only 8 in the stall.
There was always only
8.
Yeah.
We're down to 4 now.
You're down to 4, yeah.
Yes.
But then again, while you're saying that you're down to 4 here, sure, the Mercy Order then is very strong in Sacramento and in
Well, it
parts of
is.
America and
It
all
is.
that. Like.
It is
So
indeed.
that we'll say while they're saying that religious vocations are diminishing and all that, like in the affluence of today's world, the religious vocations, both to the priesthood and to the we'll say the life in the cloister convents and
Right.
in the very many ways that religious are involved, they're booming at the moment
Yeah, that's right.
in third world countries.
That's right. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, well, that's
Amazing.
the ways of the Lord, I
It
suppose.
is.
Yeah.
It is definitely.
But the fact, I suppose, that they have diminished here in even in Ireland is due in some way to the affluence and to the
Exactly.
all the other
Exactly.
are the expectations too great at this stage, or have we too much? Is affluence the name of the game?
You'd wonder.
Yeah.
You'd wonder.
Yeah.
You'd wonder.
Well, Sister Frances from Rathmore, it's certainly been lovely talking to you. And sometime when we're back in front of St. Bridget's Convent, we'll have a chat with the other sisters as well.
Right,
Thank
Timmy.
you very much
Thank
indeed.
you very
yeah.
much, Timmy. Thanks very much. All right.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raised me up so I can stand on mountains. You raised me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raised me up to more than I can be. There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly that when you come and I am filled with wonder, sometimes I think I glimpsed eternity. You raised me up so I can stand on mountains. You raised me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raised me up to more than I can be. You raised me up to more